Hi, stay right there. Today, I am with TEDx speaker, Chief Civility Officer, Chief Culture Officer. So there are so many chiefs already in her title. Please help me welcome Sejal Thakkar. Welcome, Sejal.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here with you today.
Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who are you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
Thank you so much. My parents moved from India to the United States in 1974, and I was born and raised in Chicago. So I grew up in an all Italian neighborhood. We were the only Indian family. So I dealt with harassment and discrimination at a very young age growing up. So I always had a social justice side of me where I knew I wanted to make a difference in the world so that people wouldn't have to go through what I went through. So I decided to go to law school. And since 2003, I've been in California practicing employment law. So that's what I'm doing right now. And it's been a wonderful career. And I'll answer more questions as we get going.
What are top three mistakes to avoid?
Yeah, from what I've seen as an attorney, and I've worked primarily with supervisors, I've been a defense attorney. What I've seen is a lot of times employers don't deal with situations when there's misunderstandings, when there's conflict. So they allow it to go on for so long until it turns into a formal complaint or a lawsuit. So I would say deal with misunderstandings and conflicts proactively and create a better workplace. Also, what I've seen is sometimes supervisors show favoritism towards employees, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. And this really creates separation between the employees and impacts their work performance. And then the last one would be I would tell supervisors and managers to be approachable. If you want to build a successful team, people need to know they can come to you when they have questions, when they have concerns, so that they can thrive in their own positions.
Okay, let me start the question again. What is your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
So, my greatest failure story would be when I was practicing law as a defense attorney, I realized pretty early in my career that I didn't want to be a litigator. I knew that I was more of a conflict resolution person, but I stayed in it because, my parents wanted me to stay in it. And I went to law school. So I felt like you have to keep doing this. You've worked so hard to get here. But I knew I wasn't happy doing that. So what I've learned is, don't be so stuck to a plan. It's okay to deviate from your plan and still use the experience, because I learned a lot of lessons being an attorney. This was the time in my life where I saw prejudice from a whole different perspective. And I saw that we can really create better workplaces. And so what I did was I took all my experiences and skills, and now I decided to start my own company where I train people on how to be better in the workplace.
Wonderful. So we are entering into a speed round. You have been very precise with the answers already, but just for the sake of mentioning, we are into speed round. That means quick questions and quick answers. Are you ready for it?
Sure, let's do it.
What is the most impactful business book you have read, and what did you learn from it?
So the most impactful business book I read is this one. It's called Go Giver by Bob Berg. It's an amazing book because he talks about 5 different business principles that really help in focus of how we can give value to other people. So great book. I highly recommend it.
What do you want to be remembered for?
Well, my biggest thing is I want to be remembered for being a great mother, right? I work really hard to provide for my son and take really good care of him. So when I'm gone, I want him to remember that my mom did everything she could for me to give me a good life.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
I really focus in on what I can control. I don't worry about what I can't control. So I just show up every day with what I can control and do the best I can with the circumstances that I'm dealing with.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
So I've recently accepted a position as Chief Culture Officer at a venture studio. And so I'm really looking forward to learning more and helping create an inclusive civil work environment from the ground up.
Once you have a resonating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
Well, for me, it's only my son and I. We are a small little family. So when I make decisions, I always factor what is in the best interest for the both of us so that we can really stick to each other and have time to spend with one another. So he's the only one that I look at.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm really grateful that I can actually merge my passion, which is educating people, with my career that I'm in right now. I know a lot of people don't have an opportunity to do that, but I'm blessed that I'm able to be able to do that and really make a difference in the world.
Who is your living mentor and what is the impact they have on you?
Thank you. I have a lot of different mentors, but I'll talk about one, Allison West. She really has helped me get to this point in my business. It was scary for me to start my own business, but she really helped me. She's been doing the same kind of work that I do, but she's been doing it for a lot longer. So she's really shared her wisdom with me, and it's been very helpful.
Why is being impactful important to you?
It is really important. I think that we each are leaders in our own way and that we can make a difference in the world. The work that I do, I really try to empower both leaders and employees so that we can create better workplaces. And, I think there's too much incivility going on in the world that at least at work, I can make a difference, right? So it's very important for me.
How do you start your day?
I practice gratitude every morning and every night before I go to sleep. I try to remind myself what I'm blessed with and what are the gifts that the universe has given to me. I do that in the shower, and my son and I do that before we go to bed every night.
Who is your ideal client?
I work with all size clients, any kind of client, because if you have one employee, then you need to be focused in on creating a healthy culture. So there's no really one type of client. It's basically the question would be, do you have employees? Then you could use my services to help educate your staff and your managers.
What is the advice you would give to your younger self?
I would tell myself that, don't be so stuck and so rigid on your plans. Allow yourself flexibility to grow and deviate from your plans. I think it's a good idea to have goals and have a plan so that you can be successful, but you don't need to be so tied to it.
How can we support you?
I just want to thank you again for inviting me to this show, by allowing me to spread my message. And if people want to get a hold of me, they can go to my website. It's trainextra.com to find out about the various programs that I offer.
What would you say about your guest experience on the show?
Thank you again. It was very wonderful, and I really hope it was helpful to the people that would watch the show as well.
What would you say as a final word?
I would say that, I did a TEDx talk in March of this year talking about unconscious bias. It's called The Pain, the Paradox, and Power of Bias. I would say please watch that and let it transform your life.
Sejal, thank you so much for your time and wisdom. On the behalf of Entrepreneur Empowerment Club and our entire team, we really appreciate you. I hope our paths cross again with another amazing guest. Until then, you have a wonderful time.
Thank you so much.